Hello friends and welcome to Shared Smiles. As usual, I am Alyssa and today I will be doing an Upon First Listen album review of a band that I was actually introduced to through Spotify. It was suggested to me a little while ago as something that I might like, and I ended up really liking them. So when I found out they were going to put out another album, I was super stoked and decided that that was the album I was going to review this week. And that album is Connect the Dots by MisterWives. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first song on the album is called Machine, and it's definitely kind of a banger of an opener. And one of the lines that stood out to me was, maybe I'm a dying breed, but I believe in individuality. And it's basically establishing right away that they're going to do things their way. They're not going to necessarily be told by someone else how they should run their careers or how they should act as individuals. They're going to be themselves and do it the way they want. And I loved it. And I really loved the bridge of this song. I thought was really cool. And it was a great opener. Just made me super excited for the rest of the album. The second song on the album is called Chasing This. And it talks about chasing dreams and kind of a little bit about going home and all that kind of goes along with it, and like chasing after, you know, what you really want in life and all that. And it keeps with the upbeat music and the high energy that was set by the first song, and I found at this point while listening that it was just impossible for me to stay still listening to these songs. I know we're only 2 songs in, but I was just constantly like moving, maybe not like full on dancing, but it was just like I couldn't just sit still. I had to move along with it. So yeah, and then the third song on the album is called Only Human, and this one I had trouble understanding the chorus. I really didn't know what was being said, so I still enjoyed the overall feel of it, but because I couldn't really make out what was being said the whole time, I didn't really understand the song as a whole. But I enjoyed it. I liked the feel of it. Song number 4 is called Drummer Boy, and it's not a slow song by any means, but it still definitely had a different feel to me than the first 3 songs did. And it's a love song, and it has a little bit more of like an island percussive feel in the chorus. That's not the sound of the overall song, but that was something that kind of caught my attention in the chorus, was that there was a little bit of that. But yeah, it's a nice little love song. And then song number 5 is called Revolution, and right away it has a little bit of a darker feel than the ones that we've listened to leading up to it. And the words instantly mirrored that in the lyrical content. And it's a call for a revolution and to make a change, and it talks about the issues that are seen throughout our world today. And the refrain is more of an upbeat call to action in response to the issues that are being addressed in the verses. And so I really liked that song. And I think it was really effective in that way. It had more of a darker verse, and then the refrain was a little bit lighter in feel, not completely, like it wasn't like it completely switched, but that was where it was the call to action, like we need to do something, we need to change this, we can do this, whereas the verses are a little bit darker and going, this is what's happening in the world. And so the contrast I think was effective and was interesting, and I really liked that song. Song number 6 was called My Brother, and it starts with like kind of a low horn soundish intro, and it's the first actual slow song that appears on the album, and it kind of talks about standing by someone through something until the end, that you're always going to be there for them and that they're going to make it through and all of that. And so I really liked that song. I thought it was a great message to send and a great way to have like your first slow song on an album for sure. Song number 7 was called Out of Tune Piano, and it was just another fun upbeat song. I don't really have a lot of notes on this one. I guess it didn't really stand out to me in one way or the other, but I did like it. Song number 8 was called Coloring Outside the Lines, and it's a sweet love song, and it was a lot of fun to listen to, and it's one of my favorite songs on here. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say or add to it. I think that it just is a very sweet love song and kind of puts you in a good mood, and so I liked that one a lot. Song number 9 is called Bandcamp, and I loved that it started and then I believe ended with the sound of a crackling fire to set the atmosphere of camp. And it's about getting away, and they talk about going to like the woods to get away and then playing their instruments, like literally about band camp, I suppose. But I loved it. I thought it was different. It was a different topic to discuss than you hear in a lot of different things, and the approach of it, like I said, with the crackling fire at the beginning and end, I thought was an interesting touch on that. Sorry, there's a bus outside my house right now, so you're probably hearing that. Song number 10 is called Oh Love, and the chorus had kind of like, on this one, like distorted vocals a little bit, like a megaphone sounding. It sounds like kind of when you're talking through a megaphone. And it's kind of a bombastic song. It's very driven and kind of loud, and in that respect, a little bit different from the rest of them, which seem more easy going. Not that all the songs sounded easygoing, because like Revolution is definitely, like I said, a call to action. But this one feels like, you're going into something. Like it's definitely like a hype you up kind of song. So that's how that one stood out, is that's like the feel of it. And song number 11 is called Let the Light In, and it's kind of an optimistic message to end with. It's another call to change, but in a different way, in a more uplifting, like positive way. You're not focusing on these are all the bad things in the world. You're focusing on these are the little changes that I can make. At least that was, from my first listen, kind of what I got from it, and as a good way to end it, because I feel like overall the album was kind of that's kind of the overall message of it. Like there's love songs and there's happy songs, but there's a call to action, to not just sit and not do anything if you feel that something needs to be done, to whether it be within yourself, which I feel like Let the Light One In is kind of more that idea, or whether it be on a more global level, like what Revolution is calling for. All right, and so that's the whole album, and my overall feel, I don't know what's going on out there. My overall feel is I would give it a strong 3.5 out of 5. It's great songs that almost always led me to moving. Like, it wasn't one, this is not one that you sit and you just listen to. This is one that you like feel it and you just kind of have to start going with it. However, I think I would have enjoyed more of a variation with sound. Like, they definitely have like a signature sound and they're very good at that. But at some points, like, it kind of started to sound all the same. So I would maybe have appreciated a little bit more of that. I did like the different topics discussed throughout the songs. I don't think anything lyrically was like revolutionary. Like, I think it was, but it was all very good and very well done. And it was definitely an upbeat and fun listen. I really enjoyed it. And I will be listening to it again, and I would definitely recommend it for anyone who's interested. If you like more upbeat music, or, are just interested, you've heard of this band, you're watching this video, and you haven't heard of them before, I would definitely suggest checking it out. So that is my thoughts today on Connect the Dots by MisterWives. If you liked this video, please feel free to let me know with a thumbs up. If you're interested in future videos I might do, feel free to subscribe. And as always, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, whatsoever, feel free to comment all of that down below. I love you all. Thank you so, so, so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to share them smiles. Ciao for now, friends.